Debunking the Phenomenal Day Doctrine of Henry Kinley, an in-depth analysis. Anonymous, July 12, 2024. Introduction. The doctrine of the Phenomenal Day is a pivotal element within the Institute of Divine Metaphysical Research, IDMR, an organization founded by Henry Clifford Kinley. Kinley's followers uphold his teachings with fervent devotion, believing him to possess unparalleled insights into the mysteries of Scripture, particularly concerning the resurrection of Jesus Christ, Yahshua the Messiah. Central to Kinley's doctrine is his unique explanation of the phenomenal day, a concept he claims is essential to understanding the timeline of Yahshua's death, burial, and resurrection. This article aims to scrutinize Kinley's doctrine, highlight inconsistencies, and debunk his explanation of the phenomenal day. Kinley's doctrine, the phenomenal day explained. Henry Kinley asserted that he was the only person capable of explaining how Jesus Christ, Yahshua the Messiah, was crucified, buried, and resurrected from the grave on the third day. According to Kinley, this understanding is beyond conventional interpretation, as it does not fit within the framework of 3 24-hour days. The definition of a day. Kinley elaborated on his explanation by redefining what constitutes a day. He cited the account of creation in Genesis, where it is written, God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day, Genesis 1 verse 5. Based on this passage, Kinley argued that a day is not merely a 24-hour period but a combination of a period of light followed by a period of darkness. Periods of light and darkness. Kinley applied this definition to the timeline of Christ's crucifixion and resurrection. He noted that during the crucifixion, there was a period of darkness from the 6th hour to the 9th hour, Mark 15 verse 33. Using his definition, Kinley divided the events into distinct periods of light and darkness. First period. Light, morning of the crucifixion until the 6th hour. Darkness, 6th to the 9th hour when darkness covered the land. Second period. Light, after the 9th hour when darkness lifted until sunset. Darkness, night following the crucifixion day. Third period. Light, day after the crucifixion, Sabbath. Darkness, night following the Sabbath. By interpreting the timeline in this manner, Kinley argued that these 3 periods of light and darkness constitute the 3 days referenced in the resurrection narrative. The phenomenal day, according to Kinley, is realized by the unique period of darkness that occurred while Christ was on the cross, a day known only to Yahweh. The contradictions and oversights. While Kinley's explanation may seem compelling to his followers, a closer examination reveals significant contradictions and oversights in his doctrine. One major issue is his selective use of Scripture. Kinley draws heavily from Genesis 1 verse 5 and the account of darkness during the crucifixion, but conveniently ignores other relevant passages that contradict his interpretation. A critical scripture that Kinley neglects is Matthew 12:40, where Yahshua explicitly states, "For as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of a huge fish, so the Son of Man will be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth." This passage clearly indicates that Yahshua's body would be buried for 3 days. Yet using his special definition of a day, Yahshua's body was not in the heart of the earth at all, but still hanging on the cross and yet to be buried. Kinley's failure to address this scripture undermines his credibility and raises questions about his selective interpretation. By ignoring Matthew 12 verse 40, Kinley bypasses a clear statement from Yahshua himself, thereby weakening his claim of having a unique understanding of the resurrection timeline. Debunking the Phenomenal Day. To debunk Kinley's Phenomenal Day doctrine, it is essential to revisit the scriptural evidence without selective bias. The Bible consistently emphasizes a period of 3 days and 3 nights regarding Yahshua's death and resurrection. Thus, Yahshua's burial late on Friday, day 1, his time in the tomb on Saturday, day 2, and his resurrection early on Sunday, day 3, absolutely failed to satisfy the prophecy of Jonah and Yahshua's own words, as the body was in the tomb for no more than 1.5 days, rather than 3. Moreover, the doctrine of the phenomenal day appears to be a convenient way for Kinley to drive his followers to a conclusion of his own divinity, because he heavily emphasized that this was a day known only to Yahweh, in showing that he could explain this day, when Christianity could not. Kinley thereby sought to elevate his status among his followers to the level of God. However, his selective interpretation and disregard for other scriptures reveal a significant flaw in his argument. Conclusion. Henry Kinley's Doctrine of the Phenomenal Day is a cornerstone of IDMR teachings, yet it fails to withstand rigorous scriptural analysis. By selectively using scripture and ignoring key passages that contradict his explanation, Kinley constructs a narrative that lacks coherence and consistency. The scripture in Matthew 12 verse 40 explicitly states that Jesus would be buried for 3 days and 3 nights, a period that can be understood within the Jewish context of counting days. Ultimately, Kinley's claim to divine insight is weakened by his selective interpretation and oversight of crucial biblical passages. By debunking the Phenomenal Day doctrine, we encourage a more comprehensive and honest engagement with Scripture, free from the constraints of selective and biased interpretations.